forecast for your area. Your extended forecast.
Ten till the top of the hour. I'm meteorologist Warren Madden. Welcome back to the Weather Channel, and it is time for the tropical update. We have not one, but two tropical systems to tell you about, one in the Atlantic Basin, one in the Eastern Pacific. Let's start off with the Atlantic Basin. We find Tropical Storm Claudette now in the Gulf of Mexico as of 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. The center of Claudette positioned 520 miles east-southeast of Brownsville. Top winds of 50 miles an hour, moving off to the northwest at 13 miles an hour. Estimated central pressure of 29.77 inches of mercury, or 1,008 millibars. Here's a look on the satellite, and a very disorganized storm here. We're seeing blowups of convection, but the reconnaissance aircraft going through the aircraft, the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft, reportedly finding several smaller circulations embedded in one large circulation, almost akin to what you see in some of the more powerful tornadoes, where you see suction vortices, those smaller little spins embedded in the main tornado. Well, in this case, it's not a sign of an intense storm, but a weaker one. There's no one dominant spin, dominant circulation. The larger circulation is drifting off to the northwest, and it is possible this could strengthen, but it would be dependent upon whether or not we get a relaxation. It is under some shear right now, and you notice that shear coming up here from the southwest, really pushing off to the northeast. And if that relaxes, we might see some strengthening, but right now it is a tropical storm, 50-mile-an-hour winds. And here's the current forecast track, taking it more on a westerly track towards the Texas and northern Mexico coastline. And right now, it's moving that general direction. We'll have to follow it carefully and see if there are any changes to that forecast track as we go through the weekend. And stay with us here at the Weather Channel. We'll certainly let you know about any further developments. We'll expand now out to the rest of the Atlantic Basin. All clear. Little wave coming through the area of the Windward Islands. A few showers here in the southern windwards. And then as we go farther out, we do have some showers and storms beginning to push off the African coast, but still a little early in the season for storms to develop this far to the east. We're headed westbound now to find Tropical Storm Enrique as of 8 p.m. Pacific Time, centered 850 miles west-southwest of Acapulco. It's chugging off to the west-northwest at 10 miles an hour with top winds of 65 miles an hour, and it is looking probably like this will dissipate over the next few days because it's headed out into cooler sea surface waters and sea surface temperatures, rather, and that is not something that a tropical system wants to see if it's trying to sustain itself. So right now it looks fairly healthy, but it is forecast to just continue heading off to the west, so only a danger to mariners and maybe kicking up some surf here later on down the pike as the surf from it extends farther out to the east, in all directions really, but east and northeast would bring it up into the Mexican and Californian coasts. Okay, let's bring it back home now. And we bring it into our overall picture. Trough of low pressure in the Great Lakes, and some dry conditions continuing in the western United States, and just plain brutally hot. Right now, though, we have some problems with severe weather right here in the Ozarks. Yes, that's where we find red on our map through mid-morning, severe weather potential, and that's where through 3 a.m. Central Time, the National Weather Service has a severe thunderstorm watch posted. Taking a look at the radar right now, a powerful line of storms slamming across the border into northern Arkansas. This whole chain of counties right now under severe thunderstorm warning, so please take shelter from these powerful storms.
Evening Edition is sponsored by GM, who invites you to take the 24-hour test drive.
The forecast for your area. Expect fair skies Monday through Wednesday with temperatures in the 80s on Monday.
Tropical Storm Claudette, of course, is the big story of the day, but we just want to update you real quick on severe weather in southwestern Missouri. A new tornado warning has been spawned for southern Berry County until 6:15 local time. We'd like now to join our hurricane expert, Dr. Steve Lyons. And Steve, what's going on right now?
Well, not much of a change. The upper level environment is unfavorable for development and the system continues to move off to the northwest. Let's get the latest statistics from the Hurricane Center. This is a 5 a.m. advisory. The two things that are most important are how fast it's moving and which direction and what the speed is. 50 miles per hour, northwest at 14. The good news is when we look at the satellite imagery in a little closer view, that we see the upper level winds out of the south coming right over the top of the circulation. The circulation center is often actually well removed from the area of deep thunderstorms. So this is what we call a sheared environment out of the south in this particular case. So we're going to continue to monitor this very carefully over the next several days. We expect it to continue to move off to the west and west-northwest.
And Steve, Claudette has been a tropical storm now for 4 days. What's keeping it from strengthening?
Well, it's definitely the upper level wind shear that's got it the problem. And when we look at this diagram here, first of all, that's our projected path over the next several days, and currently moving to the northwest. We expect to turn more toward the west. But when we look at the environment overall, we see that when we have a sheared environment, the thunderstorms that release heat into the atmosphere are tilted, and that heating is shifted away from the circulation. And so what happens is no tropical development can happen, or if we have a low pressure system, nothing really develops. On the contrary, if we have the system with no shear, that heating is concentrated and we get a stronger low pressure system, or a low pressure system if one is not already there.
And Steve, what's the latest in the eastern Pacific?
We have a tropical storm out there. Enrique continues to intensify just slightly, remains offshore, moving northwest at 16 miles per hour, just shy of hurricane strength now, up to 65 miles per hour. The good news here is it is moving away from the coastline. Here you can see circulation here, moving away from Mexico. It's going to generate some wave action along the southern Baja coast, but that's about the only impact we expect over the next several days, Melissa.
All right, thanks a lot. Hurricane expert Dr. Steve Lyons with the very latest on Tropical Storm Claudette. Now with a look at the stormy weather in the lower 48, here's Bob.
And a tornado warning is in effect for southern Berry County in the southwestern part of Missouri. It's due to this very nasty cell. Look at that area of red. This cell is capable of producing a tornado. This is not a confirmed tornado as of when that statement was released. It was Doppler indicated, but as it moves toward the southeast at 20 miles an hour, bear in mind that we could see a tornado spin up. Very dangerous situation now in Berry County, a tornado warning in effect until 15 after the hour. And so please bear that in mind. We have a general severe thunderstorm watch in effect for Berry County as well as Springfield, Missouri, stretching back toward southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, and northwestern Arkansas, including Fayetteville. And there's a look at our area of severe weather, and on both sides of it as well, that area where Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, and Kansas come together. That means damaging winds, hail, and even in Berry County, tornadoes a possibility. We've got impulses in the northwesterly flow aloft. We've got a frontal boundary. That's the focus for the storms. We can see these storms throughout your Saturday. Also very humid and sticky as we head toward the southern part of the country. And again, there's a look at that tornado warning. I want to emphasize Berry County. And also look at northwestern Arkansas. We've got some storms approaching you out of northeastern Oklahoma. Look at that just to the northwest of Fayetteville, producing very heavy rain right now. Heavy rain in Mountain Home, Arkansas. And you can see as we head toward Conway, Messy, just scattered activity across the eastern Great Lakes with the trough in place centered over the eastern part of Canada and a surface low.
Well, coming up next, Cheryl Lemke and Bill Keneally will have a check on your latest conditions from coast to coast.
For those of you enjoying a little break from the heat in the northeast, we'll tell you how long it will last.
Stay with us, though. Coming up next, your local on the 8th.
What's up with them?
Must be super stackers down at IHOP.
Right now at IHOP, it's a real tall order. It's our all-new Super Stackers. Savory steak, chicken and bacon, or sliced turkey. Hot off the grill on a Romano Parmesan roll. Come on in and enjoy a Super Stacker. It's one great bite.
forecast for your area. Expect fair skies Monday through Wednesday with temperatures in the 80s on Monday.
Well, it's 50 minutes past the top of the hour, and that means it's time for your tropical update. Welcome back. I'm Melissa Barrington. We want to start by taking a look at the latest conditions on Tropical Storm Claudette. Here's the latest location at 24.1 north or 91.2 west, or positioned at 410 miles to the east-southeast of Brownsville, Texas. It's got winds of 50 miles an hour, and the movement has slowed down a little bit today, currently moving to the northwest at 12. Pressures at 2977 or 1,008 millibars. Here's the latest infrared satellite imagery of Claudette. It is not very well organized. We do have a lot of convection here that's on the east and the northeast side of the tropical storm, and the center of circulation is not very well organized and very difficult to pinpoint. As we take a look here at the visible satellite picture, you can see an extensive area of clouds on the east side of the system. We do have upper level southwesterly winds, which is actually going to limit intensification. However, within the next 36 hours, there's a possibility for some minor strengthening with it as it continues on its westward track. So it's expected to make more of a turn towards the west. And here's a look at the projected path as we look ahead into Monday into Tuesday morning. Somewhere right now, it's expected to work its way into parts of Old Mexico or maybe even into parts of South Texas. Of course, we will continue to keep you up to date as we continue to monitor the progress of Tropical Storm Claudette. Across the rest of the Caribbean, basically everything is fairly quiet. There's a nice trough here across to the north of Puerto Rico, and we're seeing some decent conditions here. Across the Atlantic, really not a lot going on. A couple areas of disturbed weather, though, coming off of the coast of Africa. As we take you now into the eastern Pacific, well, we have Tropical Storm Enrique, and it's got winds of 65 miles an hour. It's moving to the northwest at 15. Pressures at 2935 or an estimated 994 millibars. Here's the latest look at Enrique. You can see here it's got quite a bit of convection associated with it, and right now it looks like the biggest impact from this tropical storm will be waves along the coastline. Let's take you back now across the lower 48, and we're dealing with the threat for some severe weather. We're seeing the threat for some severe weather across parts of Oklahoma and also into parts of Arkansas. However, there is a new severe thunderstorm watch that has been posted for some locations to the north, including those of you in Kentucky, where there's actually quite a bit of lightning going on at this time. We take you here into the northeast in the mid-Atlantic states. Here's a look at that severe thunderstorm watch. Covers several states, including northeastern Kentucky, much of southern Ohio, much of West Virginia, and a small little part of Pennsylvania too. This goes until early on this evening, and we've already seen some severe weather in this region. You can see thunderstorms that have exploded just to the east of Lexington, Kentucky. We do still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Powell and Madison counties until the top of the hour. These storms here could potentially produce gusty winds, large hail, and even the potential for very heavy rainfall. So heads up as these storms move eastward around Pikeville and also around Charleston, or anyone who's planning on traveling along I-64. Also, a couple of thunderstorms have popped up north of Tampa, and we've got a severe thunderstorm warning currently in effect here for Volusia County as well. So be on the lookout here, especially for intense lightning. Across parts of Arkansas, none of this is severe, but we've been watching a lot of showers and thunderstorms move through portions of the state throughout the day. But later on this afternoon, we'll keep an eye on parts of Oklahoma into parts of Arkansas for a threat for severe weather. All the showers and storms propagating along our frontal boundary here in the south central plains. But once again, keep an eye out across parts of southern Ohio and northeastern Kentucky.
Some gasolines will leave dirt on my intake valves. That's why I like a gas that helps keep my my engine clean and running well, like Chevron with Techron. Because otherwise the outside doesn't matter much, does it?
Chevron with Techron.
Shaq's back is hurting. Don't know how he can play the second half.
With strength. the strength of the new Icy Hot Back Patch.
Bigger than ordinary patches and easy to apply. First it's icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away. The new Icy Hot Back Patch for hours of relief.
Count on it.
Are you tired of embarrassing facial hair and dread painful hair removal from...
Forecast. On Monday, we'll have temperatures in the low 80s under mostly cloudy skies. Expect fair skies on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Time now for the tropical update, and we want to talk about Claudette. Claudette has been jogging a little bit more to the north throughout the afternoon, and we're going to keep an eye on it, close eye on it. Here are the latest stats. As of 4 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Central Time, it's about 400 miles to the southeast, east-southeast of Brownsville, and it continues to move off to the north-northwest at 8 miles an hour. Wind still at 50 miles an hour. Pressure still pretty steady there at 108 millibars. And the thing that's interesting, when you look at the satellite picture, it was really impressive this afternoon. It really started to blow up. There was a lot of convection associated with the storm. But in the last couple of pictures, if you look closely, it is beginning to be a little less organized than what we had earlier today. And it's also been jogging off to the north. Now, we don't think that will last very long. As a matter of fact, it is still forecast to start to push off more to the northwest in the next 24 to 48 hours, but it is a little less organized, and the convection is dying down somewhat as we lose daytime heating. The tropical storm force winds extend out about 140 miles from the center of circulation, mainly on the northeast and eastern side of the storm. Here's a different perspective as the sun is going down. We're starting to lose some of the visible satellite pictures, but you can still see the imagery and the center of circulation with Claudette. Again, the long-range impact shows it moving on shore, probably in Texas or Mexico, Monday into Tuesday. So it's still a hard call, but we're keeping a very close eye on it. Here's a different perspective showing you. And again, you can see how it really blew up this afternoon. It was quite impressive for several hours, but it is being sheared apart somewhat at this hour, and it's not as impressive as it was earlier. But we'll continue to watch it, of course. It's still a tropical storm. It's not forecast to reach hurricane strength, which is good news. Very quiet across the Caribbean. Some showers and thunderstorms, though, in the Lesser Antilles. We move off the coast of Africa, and we do have a pretty impressive wave coming off that we'll keep an eye on. Other than that, Tropical Storm Enrique is still churning in the Pacific. It's located at 18.4 north, 116.3 west. That's about more than 1,000 miles west of Acapulco, Mexico. Has winds to 60, and it's moving northwest at about 16 miles per hour. Estimated pressure about 997 millibars, and it's moving over colder water, so it really is beginning to lose its punch, and it's going to continue to do so. So we're really not concerned at all about Enrique. We are concerned about some of these severe storms that are firing. Let's move in for a close-up shot. I want to show you some of the current warnings that are in effect right now. Winchester County, Northern Virginia, you've got some rough weather moving through. Also Baltimore County, some rough weather. Those storms are intense. And also in Morgan County in Kentucky, we're seeing some strong storms at this hour. Also over western portions of North Carolina, Buncombe County, you're under a warning, and Spartanburg County also under a warning, and several counties in Tennessee under warnings as well, northwest of the Nashville area. All right, back to our weather maps. Frequent lightning strikes associated with these storms. They're firing in Texas and also through Florida. A lot of lightning strikes around Orlando. Not a great day for the theme parks. Started off fairly nicely, but then as the afternoon has been going on, we've seen a blow up of storms right around Orlando with a lot of lightning strikes and a lot of very heavy rain, unfortunately. Here's a different perspective. Again, these watch areas remain in effect through the evening hours for West Virginia, parts of Virginia, Kentucky, and down through Tennessee. So we're watching the areas closely. And again, some strong storms. Some of them have been severe. These storms are rough, and look at them. They're riding right along I-24, so what a tough time for travelers there. Over eastern portions of North Carolina and South Carolina, strong storms continue to fire. We've had numerous warnings in effect for the Pamlico Sound area for mariners because of all the rough weather. A lot of lightning, a lot of heavy downpours. And look at these storms. They're really just lining right up along the coast. You move inland around Columbia and you're fine, but around the Savannah area, northwest of the Hilton Head area, some storms are rumbling through. Very intense storms south of Albany with some heavy downpours. Well, stay tuned. Coming up, your local on the 8th. Then Ebony will be back with the current weather from coast to coast. Stay tuned.
Lost your passport? We'll help you replace it 24/7. When you carry American Express traveler's checks.